Welcome back to Good Morning Greyhounds for our 2024 Spring Edition. My name is Dylan Euler, and I am joined by the lovely Ashley Ellison.
We have a ton of exciting things for you this morning, including an interview with Team USA Special Olympian Liam Price, as well as a look into some interesting events happening on campus. But first, why don't we discuss a few trending topics in this entertainment space this week?
Kicking off our trending topics for this week, we have the queen of the music industry, Taylor Swift.
It's been estimated that Taylor's relationship with Kansas City Chiefs player Travis Kelce has brought in a pretty penny for the NFL.
And that pretty penny is worth more than $331 million. She's brought in $331 million of additional brand value to the NFL with her guest appearances at games this season and overall media spotlights.
I knew the Swifties were strong, but they should give a slice of UIndy a slice of that pie.
Oh, for real, for real.
Something else that generates a lot of money is the movie industry.
That's right. Henry Cavill and Guy Ritchie are bringing their action comedy, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, to theaters April 19th.
The highly anticipated film is set to tell the true story of the world's first ever Special Forces unit. Tons and tons of action expected with that one.
And something else we expect to be big is the upcoming Michael Jackson biopic, which has recently begun production.
Michael's nephew, Jafar Jackson, will be taking the lead role in playing his uncle as they hope to tell the famous and exciting story of the King of Pop. It should be a great watch.
Something I'm sure none of us saw coming is a new heir to the British crown. The star of Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk, recently discovered that he is an 11th cousin of King Charles.
The discovery was made during Odenkirk's appearance on PBS Finding Your Roots, and I know if I were him, I would find every possible route to get some of that royal money in my pocket.
I see what you did there. Well, that is it for our trending topics this episode, but stay tuned because we have an exciting interview lined up with a very special member of the Greyhound family after this short break.
There's often a moment when you're helping somebody with math where they just suddenly get over that little barrier and they get it. It's a nice aha moment, and I really like being involved in helping students achieve that moment, and we do get a lot of those here in the tutoring lab.
The first time I went to Lucas Oil was last year for the 6A Center Grove versus Carroll State High School football game. And I walk in this time thinking I know what's going on, thinking I know what's going to happen. And if I were to say that Lucas Oil lost any effect on you, just the pure vastness that it hits you when you walk in, I'd be wrong. And Jace put it perfectly. He walked in and said, wow, this is the dream. And it is, because the people that we look up to listen to a high school football game of the week on WICR HD3 UIndy Radio.
Our guest this morning is fellow Greyhound and Team USA swimmer Liam Price.
Welcome to the show, Liam. How are you this morning?
I am great.
Yeah?
How you folks doing?
We're doing good. First broadcast, I think it's going pretty well. Lovely picture up here on the wall. I see you.
Yeah. So many people here at UIndy know you're on the swim and dive team, but not many Greyhounds know that you competed in the Special Olympics World Games that took place in Berlin last summer. What are some of your earliest memories of being involved with the Special Olympics Indiana?
Earliest memory, probably when I was, about 6 years old. I remember being I was a part of the swim programs that they had and stuff through Special Olympics, and it was more of like, kind of like the leagues and stuff that kids do nowadays, which they're just going into swim and stuff, and it helped me develop into the swimmer I am now.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. So after being selected to compete in Berlin, how excited were you about the competition, and what did you do to prepare for having to go overseas?
Well, I had to prepare a lot. One, I had to stay in good physical shape. I had to make sure that I had gold medals at the state level and gold medals at the country level in order to accomplish there. So that was a big step in preparation. It wasn't just the whole year. It was years worth of preparation for it. And, the reason why I had to practice in and out of the pool, especially here, being a swimmer here on the Greyhound swim and dive team, is obviously taking a big approach because one, it's helped me get better. Two, everyone on that team's helping me get better. And three, they're pushing me to make bigger goals for myself. And that's one of my goals that I made, being able to go swim for the World Games.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. Everything kind of leading up to that moment.
Yeah.
Throughout your like swimming career and everything. That's very, very cool.
Absolutely. And there were quite a few people, other swimmers that went on the team with you. So what were they like to be around, and how was the overall environment on the trip?
Well, the overall environment, there was a lot. I mean, the overall environment was pretty welcoming and stuff. One, we took a trip to a place called Bremen in Germany.
Okay.
That place was basically out in the countryside of Germany. And what happened is when we went there, they were basically treating us like family there. They gave us good food. They let us dance in the streets, which is one thing that's common in Germany. And, you know, we were able to do a lot of things, but then the environment itself, when we got to Berlin, it was more like city. They had a lot, I mean, we were basically going around into the city area and stuff, and our venue was in the city area, so it was a pretty loud environment there and stuff compared to the quiet town of Bremen that I was at. But the environment with people, it was pretty good for the most part. I mean, there was a couple things that went on. I mean, especially one athlete there from Delaware. He always tried to put on a show with his, you know, his crazy jokes. I mean,
just like good team camaraderie and whatnot, you know?
Yeah, and not to mention that I ended up playing the biggest role in, you know, the environment at the end, because one, I accidentally took I took his shirt and wore it home because he's half my size, and I even wore his shorts home too.
So, being, you know, a competitor over there at Berlin, you must have been pretty nervous swimming at such a big competition, right? What was that feeling like before and after the races, and how incredible did it feel to bring home a silver medal in that 4x50 relay?
It was honestly a big honor. One, a lot of Special Olympic athletes and a lot of athletes in this country, very few get to bring that medal home.
Yeah.
And it's proud for me to say that, one, I played a role in bringing a medal home for this state. Mm-hmm. And
for
this
the country
too.
Yeah.
For this country, and more specifically for the country. And, you know, it wasn't easy. It was a hard task, one, because most athletes in this country, a vast majority of them are just playing at the state level, mm-hmm. and the country level. But when you're going on a world level, very few people do that in this country compared to the general population of sports.
Yeah, so besides all the racing you got up to, because I'm sure there was a lot of that, did you get a chance to walk around Berlin and overall Germany and see the sights? Absolutely.
We got to go around. We got to see, you know, we got to go down in the subway areas down there. We were at Potsdamer Platz, that area. We were there, and we got to ride on the subway and stuff that they had there. We got to hang out around the pool area. We got to eat at some places that were, you know, American-like.
Did you have any, like, Berlin-specific, like, cultural foods and whatnot? How was the food there different than here? Because I know it's,
during breakfast, they serve meats and cheeses and stuff. It's kind of like...
a little carnivore diet?
You could say that. And they had a special kind of custard they would serve at breakfast. It was like...
Okay.
It wasn't like an ice cream custard. It was a custard, like a kind of a yogurtish thing they had there.
Yeah.
We had that. They had a lot of fruit and stuff. Mm-hmm. They had, but more specifically, we drank a lot of sparkling water.
Okay.
So,
are you a big sparkling water guy?
Yeah, I love it.
I'm personally not.
And actually, believe it or not, when I came back for my first half of senior year, I'm thinking, nice. The dining hall finally has sparkling water. So I'm thinking that's a pretty good thing, knowing that at least I'm getting more kind of some Germany-like things when I came back.
Yeah. You bring some of that culture back with you, more experiences and whatnot. That's what it's all about, man. So talk to me about your family coming with you to see you compete. Did you get to bring them with? Did you guys get to do anything out there in the city?
Actually, believe it or not, my father was the only part of my family that came.
Okay.
And, you know, because my mother couldn't come because she was busy planning a graduation party for my sister. And the graduation party was already planned for, but in regards to my dad, he came along, but believe it or not, the Butler crew, the students from Butler actually, believe it or not, came to see me play and compete in swimming. And, you know, it was a lot of, they basically came in place of my family and stuff, and I mean, to root me on.
Yeah, it's always good to have supporters when you're there competing, people cheering for you and whatnot. No, that's very, very, very cool.
Mm-hmm. So is there anyone who heavily influences you or inspires you to do these incredible things?
Yes. I will add one person, Michael Phelps. I feel like
That's a standout.
Believe it or not, you know, I was wearing the goggles that he did when I was swimming there. And, you know, I was very thankful too that I got to meet the guy, and he told me, you know, he gave me some advice on what I needed to do as far as when I go to World Games and stuff and set goals and stuff.
Was he there in Berlin, or did you meet him like?
I met him after, but if I go back to another World Games, he wants me to, you know, have that mindset, that one, because we all have days where we're down, like, because that was part of training where I'd have days where I'd be a little sluggish and stuff. He told me on those days, just make goals that, you know, you can obtain that day, but not push it to the point that you can't do it
the next day. You don't want to overdo it one day, and then because you're sluggish this day and you push yourself so hard because you're sluggish, you can't compete at your best the next day in practice. Yeah. No, I get you. I mean, everyone has down days, but it's about being consistent. It's about being the best you can every single day.
Absolutely.
Not, I guess, jeopardizing yourself for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Right.
So lastly, how does swimming for Team USA compare to swimming for the Greyhounds?
It was a much bigger level. It was basically the biggest stage you could ever get on, a world stage, unless you had the idea of an infinite universe of there being like a universe stage, which would be even hard for the world's best athletes. You don't know what extraterrestrial life would be out there to beat you, but on that level there, I would have to admit that it was hard being in that pool and stuff, and I felt like this World Games would sort of give me an idea of what it would be like to swim, gave me an idea of what it was like to swim on the world stage. Because that was the first time. I mean, I gave it my all, and I competed with those guys, but I have an idea if I ever go back to another World Games or whatnot, that, you know, if I ever do, that would be what I need to expect.
Yeah, and this is a great stepping stone for you and all your guys here competing. I mean, that must have been super, super cool.
Yep, and absolutely for all the people here in the comm department. This guy right here, Peter Liu, he's from Wisconsin. The phrase "bangle spangle," I invented that with him. So don't forget bangle spangle. That's where it came from. One, my coach is a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and I put Special Olympics USA. It's a trademark thing. Team USA is not allowed. It's Special Olympics USA, but we said you get the Star Spangled Banner Ride spangle, bangle spangle. Doesn't that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. Thank you so much, Liam, for joining us this morning. And be sure to stick around and continue watching Good Morning Greyhounds after this.
Are you feeling alone in your faith? UIndy Catholic gives you an opportunity to get involved in a religious community on campus, providing sacramental needs and fellowship for prospective students and giving you a sense of belonging.
We just want you guys to know that God loves you, He delights in you, and He's in awe of you, and we would love to meet you, so you should come on out.
UIndy Catholic, a community for you.
For children who may have high-functioning autism, may have ADHD, processing challenges, working memory issues, sensory integration issues, those types of challenges. It's a place where human beings are valued, children are respected, It's a progressive school that takes a hands-on approach to education.
Welcome back to the show. Liam, that was an amazing first half. We're going to continue on the interview here. The multi-universe. Elaborate. What are your thoughts? Do you think there's other life out there?
Absolutely. I mean, I think even when I was at the World Game, I had a mindset. We almost got gold in that one race that I got the silver in, the 200 by 4 medley relay. If we had gotten first, I can only imagine being in an imaginary competition with extraterrestrial life.
Yeah. Do you think that competition is like the next up, like the next step, like beyond who you competed against there in Berlin?
Yep.
Yeah. You think they're better than the swimmers we have here on Earth?
10 times better.
10 times better. Got you. Well, thank you for elaborating on that. We were dying to know what you meant
Absolutely.
by the extraterrestrial life.
Absolutely. And after getting to know you a little bit better, Liam, why don't we switch up the pace and move into some trivia questions?
Absolutely.
So we're going to ask you some questions about the UIndy swim and dive team, as well as some of your own accomplishments with Special Olympics Indiana. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so starting off, what was the finishing time of your 4x50 medley relay in Berlin to the nearest second?
Probably about my time specifically was about 38 seconds in my part of the 4x50 medley relay.
Okay.
Or the
Okay.
200.
How about your whole team? What time did your team finish?
About 3 minutes and 6 seconds.
You got it right.
Yes.
Nice. You know your stuff. All right.
Well done.
All right.
All right. Who currently holds the most school records on the UIndy swim and dive team?
The most on the UIndy swim and dive team?
Yeah, the most records. The most school records.
I'm thinking. I'm not really. I'm trying to think.
Your Greyhound history.
Greyhound history.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking in history.
He's a current swimmer. He's on your team.
Jerron Thompson?
No.
No?
Can we try again?
Yeah.
One more. He's from Germany.
Yep.
You were just there in his hometown. His home.
Country.
This one's a
We
little.
were in his backyard, pretty much.
Yeah, it was in his backyard. Trying to think.
You got it?
All right. It is Cedric Buissing.
Cedric Buissing?
Yeah.
All right. So next up, what is the name of the famous end of winter event Special Olympics Indiana has had for the past 24 years?
The polar plunge.
Correct. He had that one in the
Nice.
chamber. He
Yep.
had that one loaded up. What is the name of the first UIndy swim and dive coach to lead the Greyhounds to a national championship title?
Well, there's a story behind this.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this.
Okay.
It is Coach Noble, Brent Noble,
Okay.
but that team was, believe it or not, Jason Height's team,
Okay.
which,
Okay. I hear you.
because Jason was the one who recruited a lot of those athletes
Okay.
who won a title. So Brent was the head coach at the time they won the title, but that's Jason's team that won the title. So.
Okay.
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 I got you.
They swam for Jason.
Yes.
All
There
right.
you go.
That makes sense. So last question for trivia. If there was one event you could only compete in from now on, what would that be and why?
It would be probably the 1650, or in Berlin, since they do it in meters, it'd be the 1500, because I feel like that would be my best event and maybe dominating the world in, because not to mention I've swam with those guys on
Which
the team.
style of swimming?
Freestyle.
Okay.
Freestyle, 1650 freestyle mile.
Okay.
I've done that with the UIndy swim team.
Okay.
Just this year was the first time I started one. I felt like it was something I'm at, and I did very well in it.
Yeah. It's not as much a sprint as more of it's like a longer race.
Yeah, it's more of a longer race, At first, I didn't know what to expect. With me, I want to know what to expect the first time I do something,
Uh-huh.
and then I usually push forward to make bigger goals for myself.
Okay, cool. Speaking of pushing yourself and bigger goals, what year are you school-wise?
A senior.
You're a senior. How has your academics been here at UIndy, your classes, your professors, your teachers, the comm department? Tell us about your experience here at the University of Indianapolis, kind of getting away from the trivia a little bit here.
My experiences here, one, I've met a lot of great people, especially up here in the TV and radio.
Uh-huh.
Got my buddy Caden Colford, who,
On set.
you know, to me, it feels, even though he's not, he feels like, I feel like he's a brother, you know, in a lot of ways. And
Aww.
I feel like, you know, Jace is in a lot of ways too. I feel like a lot of these guys that I work with are. And
Yeah.
a lot of people here have been.
They appreciate the kind words, I'm sure. And they feel the exact same way about you. You are a light in every room that you walk into. Everyone loves to see you. When you come into the radio management office, we're all like, Leah, you know, or we always love seeing you when you come in, so.
Yep.
Do you have any plans after college since you're almost done here?
Yes. One, I want to go work for Special Olympics North America.
Okay.
And one, you know, also I'm also considering too that I'd like to go work for a radio station in my area. It's called Corn Country 100.3.
Okay.
It's down in Franklin.
Okay.
Okay.
It's more of a country style radio.
Yeah.
If you go on 100.3, you know, everyone here can, you know, hear me talk and stuff. If I, you know,
If you get
that's
the chance to, yeah.
That's something I want to do.
Okay. Little dream, little passion. It's always good to have dreams and goals, like you said, just with the swimming.
Yeah, that's more of, you know, I feel like one I could do.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you joining us, Liam. We really appreciate it. That concludes our trivia and overall segment here with Liam. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us, Liam. And we will be right back.
There's often a moment when you're helping somebody with math where they just suddenly get over that little barrier and they get it. It's a nice aha moment, and I really like being involved in helping students achieve that moment. And we do get a lot of those here in the tutoring lab.
The first time I went to Lucas Oil was last year for the 6A Center Grove versus Carroll State high school football game. And I walk in this time thinking I know what's going on, thinking I know what's going to happen. And if I were to say that Lucas Oil lost any effect on you, just the pure vastness that it hits you when you walk in, I'd be wrong. And Jace put it perfectly. He walked in and said, wow, this is the dream. And it is, because the people that we look up to listen to a high school football game of the week on WICR HD3 UIndy Radio.
One of our goals with Good Morning Greyhounds is to showcase some of the awesome things that happen in and around campus as well as the heart of Indianapolis.
And that is why we will be bringing you our weekly cultural spotlight.
For this week's Cultural Spotlight, the Crystal Dohan Fine Arts Center hosted the Symphony Orchestra Concerto Competition, which hosted various students showcasing their amazing talents in front of a well-coveted crowd. And this is what they had to show for it.
welcome back. That was an awesome package. Thank you so much. Ashley, how you feeling about our first broadcast here? First time on Good Morning Greyhounds. You feeling good?
I feel like that went fantastic. It was
agree.
amazing to
Yes.
learn more about our very own Liam Price, and I think I can speak for the whole comm department here. We will miss him
Oh yeah,
after
for sure.
this semester because he's a senior. He just spoke about that, so he'll be going on to his own journey. But as far as the show goes, I do think that went very well, and I'm excited to see what we have next.
Yeah, I mean, I think Liam is a big inspiration for everybody. I think we can all learn a lot from Liam and his positive attitude and his pursuit of everything he wants to do and wants to enjoy in life. Going over to Berlin, I'm very jealous of him. I want to travel more. So,
Right, and
Yeah.
I think that's what's special also about college, and especially UIndy, is that we just have people of all different just specialties and knowledge and experience to where we can have people like Liam and get to meet him. So,
yeah.
I don't know, I just felt like it was a very unique experience because I don't know in what other way I'm going to have a conversation with somebody like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, we have tons of different people from all different backgrounds here at UIndy. I mean, you saw over at the at Schwitzer all the different flags up there and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, tons of different people from different backgrounds and all that. I mean, it's really cool to talk to anybody. They got a different story going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, Real Talk is coming out tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
So the viewers have that to look forward to. But yeah, as far as the show goes today, I think we did good, and I'm looking forward
I
to
think we did
what
good
we
as
have.
well. Thank you, everybody from behind as well. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here at Good Morning Greyhound. We hope you enjoyed watching it just as much as we did making it. Make sure to join us next week, to hear more about trending topics, special guest appearances. What else
And the Culture Spotlight of the week. Can't forget about that.
Cannot forget about the Culture Spotlight of the week. Only here on Good Morning Greyhounds.